question for future Matt. We gotta get some sort of sound effect for card battlers.
I hope no one else is doing a bit, but I'm doing a bit.
Daddy's got a pod.
I'm Casey Kasem, and this one's for the perverts.
Join us in our strange ritual.
That is time-traveling love smut.
I can only say horny in one season opener.
A medium amount of fun and an extra large amount of sweaty.
From the minds that brought you Giraffe and Amerisaur.
No regrets, no masters.
I got dick jokes to make, man. Leave me alone.
This is good. This is good for anyone.
This one's going to be weird. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how you should check on your friends watching Xmen 97. This week especially, but just every Wednesday, because every episode starts out real happy and ends real sad, seemingly.
They have all been a roller coaster of emotion where that roller coaster starts at the top and ends at the bottom. That's for sure.
Yeah. A log flume of emotion.
It feels like we need to go back to, they just do January 6th again. Let's go back to that.
It's just microdoses of nostalgia and happiness and sadness. Just little bits of everything.
It's kind of Scrubs with a bunch of nostalgia splashed in there. Wherever
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, I'm having a lot of, oh.
Oh, I'm sad.
Oh, did Zach Braff stop January 6th?
You might have.
Does anyone know where Zach Braff was on January 6th?
On January 6th, yeah. That's the real question here.
He's definitely not the most likely celebrity to be there, but he's also not the least likely.
Mm-hmm.
I would be surprised to learn Zach Braff was involved.
Wait, who from Scrubs was at January 6th?
Who from Scrubs?
The janitor?
The Todd.
The Todd. I was thinking the Todd.
He didn't mean to be there, though.
Yeah.
I think Zach Braff would only go to January 6th if it was in New Jersey.
I don't think I get that joke.
It was just a Garden State.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
going to say
okay.
Garden
Yeah,
State.
That's a Garden
Okay.
State joke. Yeah.
That's funny.
Honor
I don't know
Debate
that it
This,
was.
game designers. It is finally time. We are enacting a strategy we swore we only would in case of emergency. And an emergency this is.
It's January 6th.
It's January 6th.
No, that's a bad joke to make on a podcast of five white guys. We can't do
No,
that.
we can't do that.
So I'm sure you have all heard the reasons we at DT! Games are worried about the current state of the industry. Capital T, capital I. Sony is reporting their AAA title based on world-famous IPs are topping sales charts, but still coming in under budget. Microsoft is sowing the seeds that they may open all of their exclusives to other platforms, and game studios are folding like a protester at January 6th when they get hit by a cop baton. See?
Nice.
We got there.
Yeah,
Full
that's
circle.
good. That's funny.
These all were better references a month and a half ago when I wrote this episode.
That's true. That's fair. Except the Xmen 97 one. You updated that one.
I did
Yeah, you
update that. So what I am saying is that developing games and movies at the rate DT! Entertainment has for the past 6 seasons has left us wondering what so many tech startups have started wondering in the last few years. When are we going to make a profit?
A question they should have asked at the start.
Yeah.
Nah, you ask that at the end when you have the product. So to post that profit today, we have assembled a panel of game designers to pitch for us a guaranteed fire hose of cash. And that is, listeners, the genre known as card battlers. Card battler. Card battlers, for those not in the know, are games that use collectible pieces assembled in a deck strategically played to overcome an opponent as its main gameplay mechanic. It can also have an entirely loot box based economy that we exploit to make an ass load of cash.
Cash load.
Yep. Question for future Matt. We gotta get some sort of sound effect for card battlers, like card
Like
an air
shuffling,
horn.
like a Vegas card shuffling.
Or yeah. We
Yeah.
need to
Something.
put
do
that
that.
on the soundboard, please.
Yeah, I'll
Let's
make
have
that
the
happen.
intern look it up.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick before we get into like Actually, no. Why don't you do the introduction first? Then I'll ask my question. Go ahead.
Okay. So, This isn't the 90s anymore. We can't just launch a new game that asks players to open their bank accounts to us that isn't tied to a popular IP. So following in the footsteps of ethical champions Disney, Marvel, and Blizzard,
That
we need this tied.
It's good.
We need
really
this
good.
tied to some characters or settings that players are going to recognize and want to open packs of in perpetuity. So today, this panel I have assembled of veteran IP specialists who have seen card battlers before is made up of Todd, Battle Network Thomas, Matt, Warcry Cole, and Andrew, Apron of Magic Henderson, with our other distinguished guest from the podcast, Left Trigger, Right Trigger, Greg Artifact Schulz. Sorry. Hi, Greg.
Hello. There's not a T, but it's an implied T. It's a weird one. It's a silent C and an implied T.
I've seen a silent T. I've never seen an applied T.
Implied T is my favorite Nintendo DS card battler.
That sucks.
What have you been up to, Greg?
Hi. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm Greg. Thanks for giving me the Dota 2 card game as my nickname. It hurts a little bit, but in a good way, I guess. Yeah, I co-host over at Left Trigger, Right Trigger, where you can listen to me and my other co-hosts babble about games and different things. We're getting more industry focused somehow in the last few episodes. Maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't. Who knows? We never know what we're doing until we sit down. So this episode should be exciting when I start talking. Anyway, I also write and voice act for the Once a Future Nerd. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thanks, guys, for having me.
We're excited you joined us.
Back to our middle names here. I know mine. Mm-hmm. I'm not concerned about Matt's. Andrew's, I have questions about.
Yeah.
Is that a Cooking Mama thing? That feels like a
Apron
Cooking
of
Mama
Magic.
It's not a Cooking Mama thing.
Feels Cooking
so
Mama
I did.
adjacent.
Greg got it. They're all card battlers tied
Yeah.
to IPs. Todd, Battle Network is Mega Man.
The best.
Matt, Warcry is tied to the Warhammer universe. And Andrew, Apron of Magic, of course, is a Hello Kitty digital trading card.
Cool.
Good.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It kind of looks like it slaps. TVH.
Back to the question that I wanted to ask a minute ago. I would like Kyle, if you could, and maybe also Greg, if you could. I was hoping that for those of us who haven't spent a lot of time playing card battlers, if you could maybe quantify what the cash load of money that card battlers bring in is, by telling us, like, I don't know, maybe how much you've spent on a card battler that you like.
They don't make numbers that high.
That's Kyle's agency leaving his body.
Specific card battlers, digital card battlers, have been pretty tame. Was able to rein it in a bit more by the time card games went digital. I've probably still spent the most on Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Greg's like, yes. Yes.
Although Magic Arena is slowly closing that gap.
Are you still on that arena grind, Kyle?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got off
you
for
never
a little
quit.
while.
You never quit.
No, I did quit, and I got back on. I was bored
okay.
one day.
Well, it's like the Marines. You never really retire.
Is it like the
Sucks.
Marines?
Magic
Matt?
the Gathering Arena is the Marines of video games in this essay, I will.
I would conservatively guess I've spent probably about $500 on Hearthstone throughout the life of that I played it. Maybe a couple hundred on Arena since I've played it. More of that was on like battle passes than anything, but $25, $50 here adds
I
up.
mean, based on that, I would call Magic the Gathering Arena Scientology more than the Marines.
Fair point.
Fair point.
This sucks.
We don't need to talk about how much money I've spent on physical Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah, no, we don't.
No.
I think someone said something about numbers not going that high, and
Yeah.
I've started to do the work of trying to figure out my actual collection and like the value therein, and it's disconcerting when I put some things together. But yeah, I would say for Hearthstone, I was like on every season, every expansion, like get the 50 to 80 pack bundle for a while, and then I went cold turkey.
Yep.
We even made the bit about how I went vegan, so I can't play Hearthstone.
But you're not vegan anymore, right? Can't
I'm
you
not
play
vegan
Hearthstone
anymore,
again?
so I've started playing Hearthstone a
baby.
little bit. But I'm full free to play now in that and on Arena, which is probably better for me.
It's like having your AA chip. It's like, no, it's cool. I'm on free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, I don't know how early you got into the physical cards, but I started when I was like 10, like Invasion.
Yeah. Invasion 7th edition was around when I started. I was 12 or 13 at the time. I don't want to think about the value of cards I've misplaced over the years because I've moved a lot. And my collection, all of my collection did not always move with me.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope I hope the cards are in a better, happier place now.
Yes. I hope somebody is enjoying them.
They'll find their way back to you like a Toy Story 4 kind of situation.
Yeah. If you love something, you have to set it free and it will return to you.
I didn't think we'd make it to Toy Story 4, but here we are.
Yeah, we started with Zach Braff at January 6th.
We sure did.
Is that what Toy Story 6 is going to be about?
Toy Story 6, how Woody was at.
No, it would have been Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head for sure.
Okay, you're going to tell me
January 6th.
Tim Allen, voice of Buzz
Yeah, I was gonna
Lightyear,
say.
wasn't it January 6th? Okay. Cool, make-believe we have here.
Before we completely derail this episode, guys, what property are you tying to your card battler today? Why will it be a good card battler? And give us the name for it. Kick us off, Todd.
Yeah, I also want to point out, I think that's the first time we've talked about Tim Allen without talking about Wild Hogs first. So,
Or 2006's superhero
Movie
genre
Zoom.
film Zoom.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Or the
that's
Shaggy
fair.
Dog. Or Home Improvement.
And now we've done it all.
Okay,
Great.
great.
Thanks,
Checked
Todd.
all the boxes. So let's just start off the top here. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Middle-earth, Shadow of War. Did you guys play those games?
No.
Nope.
Played the first one.
Okay, my only friend Greg, new friend and only friend Greg. This is for you, then. Appreciate that.
Exclusively.
First off, was voted one of the best Lord of the Rings games, if not the best Lord of the Rings game ever.
Low bar. That's a low
which-
bar.
Okay, shut up. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. It's also the only Lord of the Rings game I played. It gave us just some really, really good gameplay with some really cool themes. So, for the uninitiated, you play as a Gondorian ranger named Talion, as he uses the ghost wraith powers of the elf lord Celebrimbor, who, spoiler alert, ends up being the elf that forged the Rings of Power. Anyway, they're both killed. They join forces to, I don't know, avenge their deaths or whatever. It was just really, really cool. The game was then also based around the Nemesis system, which is just a criminally underused thing. Everyone is nodding, everyone is clapping, everyone is cheering.
Did you see recently that they originally developed that for the Batman Begins movie game port?
I believe it.
They patent this, right?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah, I think it was
yeah.
also either going to be used or was used in a Wonder Woman game, but it never it either never got legs or that game just didn't happen. The Nemesis system was legitimately cool. You would fight these Uruks, and they would then recruit new ones, and they would join you, and you'd gain this whole level of animosity between one. If you didn't kill it, it'd come back for you later. Super cool. Anyway, they only made 2 games. They made Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. So what we're going to do today is we're going to conclude the series with a card battler. Because I think that's what people are really, really wanting. And I'll just go ahead and give you the name just so we can get out of the way. Middle-earth, Shadow of the Cards. Right? Easy, follows the naming convention, intrigues the nerds. Sounds good.
Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Sounds kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Yeah.
And so in this game, you are setting off to take down the Wraith Lord, Celebrimbor, you're going to take down Sauron, you're going to... whatever other Lord of the Rings characters we can get limited rights on for this game via card battles. Because that's, I think, how you actually defeat those bosses in this game. And so I see that you're skeptical, and I get it. Because in this game, cards, as we know them, are not really quote-unquote cards. They're the enemies. They're the Uruks that you go and attack. They're items. They're other assets you find in the game. So you manage to capture a general. Well, that's a new high-level card. You take down a squad of troops.
Okay.
That's a card. You take down And one of the beasts that they ride around, I don't remember what they're called. They're like saber-toothed tigers, but we don't call them that because it's a different thing. That's a card. You manage to capture enough high-powered things, you start to build a deck. You use that deck to assault a fortress. You put skill points in a new ability. That's going to affect your battle and how it plays out. What I'm giving you is that this is the best Lord of the Rings game, as we all agreed together here today, meeting the most memorable Mega Man game. And just,
What?
I think that's what the internet wants.
I take issue with you calling Mega Man Battle Network the most memorable Mega Man game.
And I also take issue
Sure.
with you calling all card battlers Mega Man Battle Network.
Sure.
Also that.
Yeah.
So let's do a little practice game here. What can you tell me that made Mega Man Battle Network special?
It had a different fight system.
Cool. What can you tell me that made Mega Man 3 special?
I actually can tell you a lot about
Greg,
Mega Man
shut!
3.
You're my friend,
Hell
Greg.
yeah.
Shut up, Greg. Shut up, Greg.
Hell yeah, brother.
Greg, you're a guest in this house,
dragging
Greg.
myself
Take your
to the
shoes off and be
turnbuckle
cool.
to tag Greg in.
One of the answers to that question is that was the first where the robot bosses were picked by fans, right?
Cool. What about Mega Man 11? What was special about Mega Man 11?
Well,
Are
it
you
was
gonna
the
do
first
this
one
with
that
all
was
of them?
done in a long time, and it was like an HD release, so it was a kind of a big
Okay,
deal.
what about Mega Man 9?
That was
we can
actually the
stop.
first one after a long time.
We can stop Todd from doing this bit.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win.
In this essay, I will. Yeah, Shadows of Mordor, or Middle Earth, Shadow of the Cards. There it is. Cut print.
All right. Thank you. Interesting. Fascinating, even.
See, those were the words that I wanted, not my friends being mean.
I just wanted to tell you about Mega Man 3 and how you got to fight the bosses for Mega Man 2 after you beat all the bosses for Mega Man 3
No.
before you fought Dr. Wily. Anyway, sorry.
No, Greg, I was out of line. You weren't wrong. I was mad.
Todd, did you say how the Nemesis system plays in here, or is that a?
That's how you get a card.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be your Gary.
Is that it's a card?
They're gonna be your Gary Oak. I mean, you piss one off and you don't defeat it, it's coming back
Okay.
stronger.
What?
And with the cards that exactly work against your cards.
That made perfect sense, and I have no questions.
Todd
at
does
all.
this thing where he makes metaphors where there don't need to be metaphors.
No, I don't.
just denying that claim. Matt, pull us out of here. What IP are you turning into a card battler?
Oh man, Kyle, I'm so glad you asked me. Holy shit, Kyle, I'm so glad you asked. Here's the thing. Listener, I need to pull back the curtain for you a little bit. We were supposed to record this episode. Kyle had yet to get me the whole way into Magic the Gathering. And then some terrible things happened between when we were supposed to record this the first time and now. And now I get it. Like, I feel like I've seen the Matrix, so I'm here, and I'm here to tell you how we're going to turn Tony Hawk Pro Skater into the best card battling game you've ever seen in your goddamn life. Are you ready?
Oh, Matt.
What a sentence.
All right, here we go. So, imagine with me, if you will, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. You've got the sounds, you've got the sights, you've got the crazy Neversoft eyeball, and you've got Superman by Goldfinger. You're there, you're in it. Now imagine, instead of rolling around on a skateboard, if instead your goal is to build a deck around a skater and pull off the sickest tricks, Kyle. Decks will include skaters, objects, obstacles, pedestrians, and you'll use all of this to pull off tricks. Those, of course, are going to be the big draw for these cards because they'll feature some of the dopest photography from the 2000s underground skate scene. So we're going to utilize a pro-con system of spell-type cards called Radicals and Bummers. These are things like found a fiver under the bench or cop busted up the local spot. And each turn will culminate in a comp where players will determine who can do the sickest tricks. And we're calling it Tony Hawk's Pro Trader.
Oh, Matt, that's so good.
Now,
Yeah.
what gets me? I've been bracing since you started talking.
Same. My butt is so clenched.
Yeah.
Well, unclench them,
Because
boys. We're here.
dare I say I might be getting ahead of the pun that's coming. You said decks, and you're talking about skateboards. Is that anything, Matt? You have to tell me. And you said cards.
It's like if you're an undercover cop, because he asked you, you are magically and legally bound.
And you said cards.
To tell the truth.
And you said tricks. And you gotta tell me. I just want to know so I can just ready my body for whatever you're gonna say 30 minutes from now.
I don't have any pun planned for 30 minutes from now. I promise. Will I come up with a pun between now and 30 minutes from now? Maybe. But right now, I don't have one planned. I'll share my screen with you. I don't have one written down.
Do not trust you. I do not trust you, my friend Matt. My only friend is Greg, and I made that clear early on.
Anyway, it's Tony Hawk's Pro Trader. It's going to be the best. You are going to be able to, in the digital version, of course, because Lord knows we're doing digital and physical. In the digital version, you'll be able to travel around the world with your skate team, competing at different local comps to earn swag, special cards, medals, prizes, the whole nine. It's going to be awesome, Kyle. And it's all about Tony Hawk, and I'm so here for it.
What I like about this is you created a 90s themed deck builder with attitude, and like it literally, like it could have any particular IP on it. It doesn't have to be Tony Hawk's. It's just you slap Tony Hawk's on it, which I like, which has kind of the like all of the aplomb of like a Mattel executive in 1999.
Yeah, I mean,
Feels like Thrasher magazine might have been more in line with this, but I like the Tony Hawk angle.
we could certainly do Tony Hawk's Pro Trader by Thrasher magazine. I think that would fit on the box.
It's a big box.
No, I mean, the thing is that like we're focusing on skating. You know, if we were doing BMX, it would be Matt Hoffa, but it's not. You know, we're doing skating, so it's Tony Hawk. It's what the galaxy dictates it must be.
It's true.
All right. Matt Hoffa wishes he was anywhere close. He wishes he could touch Tony Hawk's level of fame.
Look, the second BMX game was pretty good.
It wasn't Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, universally accepted as one of the top 5 games of all time.
Or Mega Man Battle Network, the best Mega Man game to ever exist that only people
Best
remember
card
that
battler ever created.
Andrew, tell us about your card game and the IP attached
I'm
to
really
it.
regretting all the shade I gave Todd because my thing is way stupider.
one. Yeah, I saw your notes. You can eat
Here
a
we
butt.
go.
Yeah, I can't eat a butt. So I'm just going to set the scene right now. It's been a whole 4 years since we got the release of NieR Replicant. The
No
remaster,
one knows what that is.
The remaster of, you know what that is,
Not willingly.
which of course is the remaster of 2010's NieR. More importantly, it's been 3 years since we last talked about it on this podcast. Greg, I believe you guys just talked about NieR because I listened to that episode recently.
Greg doesn't want to be any part of what
He
you're
doesn't
peddling.
want to.
No, listen, I can only control David Flam as far as much as I can. But at some point, the NieR of it all is going to bleed through.
He is a force for chaos. So I should note when we talk about the NieR franchise, Greg and I are both, of course, referring to NieR, also aka NieR Replicant. Also, its 2017 sequel NieR Automata. Also, select parts of Drakengard 3. Also, the 2021 mobile spin-off NieR Reincarnation, and of course, who could forget the series of one-act plays that are woven into major live orchestra performances that incorporated series voice actors that all of these are considered to be 100% canon. So we've established that as ground rules.
Sometimes I wish I could go back 5 years at how mad everyone was that I was like, you got to buy a coloring book if you want to know the whole story of FNAF. And be like, 5 years from now, you're going to have to go see one-act plays at the live orchestra.
Yep, that's NieR, baby.
If you would have asked me today, how long ago do you think the NieR episode was? I would have been like, oh, like last year. No, 3 years?
3 years ago.
Yep.
So, to talk about this game will take place in the NieR franchise and will feature 2 major campaigns that players can go through. One will feature the likes of NieR, Kaine, and Emil, as you guys remember from NieR Replicant, in their fight against the Shades. And then the other campaign will star the androids 2B and 9S from NieR Automata during their war against the machines, capital M. Now, at first blush, the game will play out like a standard retelling of the major plot beats of both NieR Replicant and NieR Automata, until, of course, we hit that trademark Yoko Taro turn. Yoko Taro is the lead creative and producer behind the NieR franchise.
As we all remember
As
from
we
when we
all remember.
listened to the episode 3 years ago. Yeah.
Coming this fall as a 3-month exclusive download through Apple Arcade, but also as a collector's edition bonus for the Japan exclusive Drakengard 2 and 3 Definitive Edition, may I present to you NieR Lamentation, but instead of with an E, it's spelled with an I, like laminate, and there's brackets around the I, which is important, but you don't have context for
But
it
we
yet.
don't know why yet. Andrew, this falls into a long line of
Things that are for me.
things that are for you, but card games based on something very popular with a very small sect
Yep.
of fans.
Yep. You're welcome.
I don't know if I have anything to say.
Everybody clapped.
Because I only remembered about a third of the nouns you threw out when
Yeah.
you started talking about NieR.
Do you remember me saying Gestalt a lot?
I remember Gestalt. I remember 2B because that was the sexy android who.
Sexy robot. Yep.
Yep. And I remember shades were a thing. And
They're the Heartless.
Yep.
I remember that the Heartless are in that game.
That's in Kingdom Hearts.
You
You just said the shades are the
so I'm
Heartless.
glad you said it.
You just said it.
And Zendaya is Michi.
He was using
I was
using
doing
the
the
simile.
Todd thing. I was doing
Yeah,
the
he
Todd
was doing
thing.
the Todd
That's
thing.
why I got interested, and then I realized it was a trap. But Zendaya is Michi.
Zendaya is Michi. That's it. It's not going to get better from here, so just strap in.
Good. Yeah. Greg, round out this question. What game are you doing? What IP do you have tied to your card battler?
Sure, yeah. My game. Well, we're going from a smaller game with a niche audience to a big game with a big audience because, like we said, we're aiming
How dare you.
to make a lot of money. So we
Yeah.
got to go where the people are. And I thought, why pick one IP when you can get access potentially to a lot of different IPs, which is why I think the best bet is for us to design a card battler that can be added to Fortnite.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
This would be a game that in like canon of Fortnite, you would actually be building a fort, and then they would you bring people into it, different characters, different like cosmetics or different cosmetic versions of those characters. That would be basically your deck, and then you'd see how it would play out through play. And this would be the fort fight.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's the mode.
good.
Fort
Yeah.
fight. Yeah.
Fort fight.
No, I should clarify that just starting out, we probably won't have the IPs for like everything else. Like we're probably not going to be able to get Goku, but we will have the classic like Fortnite characters, like, you know, like everyone's favorite characters like Jonesy and Wildcat and Ramirez.
The guy in the banana costume.
Yeah, and like Meowsicles, and Tess and Burnout
This just sounds
Bush
like
Ranger.
a stroke.
and Deadfire and Dummy.
These could all be made
What
up.
about Farmer Steel? And hey, look, there's Kyle. Kyle's in here.
What?
Hey.
What is happening?
I can't get over that you said the high watermark is, well, we can't get Goku. You know, the
Yeah.
super protected IP out of all the other IPs that are out there when Ariana Grande is actually in the game, Goku.
Yeah.
But we got these
We
other
can't.
ones.
Oh yeah, you can't play as Ariana. Never mind.
Yeah, don't actually me. I've seen this happen.
Yeah, you're good.
Greg, I don't know if you've heard, but there was a card game that actually just got to crossover IP with an Amazon Prime show. They just released a Fallout pack for Magic the Gathering. It's like a brand new thing.
Yes, I heard about that. It's big promotions for the show. Yeah. It was,
Yeah, right? It was
Wait a
huge.
second.
I had never heard of the card game beforehand, actually. So
All of their games
I hadn't
have
heard
been.
of the show.
Hey, wait. Now I'm the victim.
We did it to a thing Todd loves now.
Mm-hmm.
So the mechanics of the game, you are building you're building out your fort with cards, and then battling is
Yeah.
the premise.
Your
Okay.
fort is functionally your deck, and that you'd have I was gonna get to this a little bit later, but there's a kind of a draft or like arena Hearthstone equivalent
Okay.
where that's technically no build mode, whereas opposed to if you had like a constructed, you would actually do build mode. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, don't give away too much too early then. We'll get there.
Okay.
I found a picture of Jonesy.
Jonesy. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I was
real.
going to ask. Who posted famous Fortnite
Yeah.
character Jonesy into our notes?
Jonesy the first.
Anyone listening to this and can identify who was posted in our notes without looking them up, good for you, because
Anybody who can identify this without knowing, I'm really sorry that the pandemic ruined your high school experience.
Oh my god, what that other thing is troubling.
What happened?
future Jonesy.
That's Bunker Jonesy. So this is an
Okay.
example of
Jonesy.
you'd actually have different cosmetic versions of the same characters. So yeah, this is clearly Jonesy who's been in a bunker for a while.
Jonesy, who's seen some shit.
He's holding his long beard like, I'll never tell. You got a secret behind that beard.
Yeah.
we all do, Andrew. That's
Sure.
Been hiding
why we
secrets
grow
behind this
beards.
beard for years.
It's mostly food that's gotten stuck there.
That's the secret.
all right, guys. So Magic has its colors and its mana. Hearthstone has hero powers. Monster Train has floors. Mega Man Battle Network has chips. What is the central mechanic that separates your game from the pack, from other card battlers? And what concept, object, whatever, from your chosen IP is that based on? Because that is important as well. We can't just have a generic, it's energy, because I needed to name it. Name it something from your IP. Todd.
Felt pointed. So it's your generals. Your generals all have different types. So when you play Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, which like we're gonna do a lot of silly things through the rest of this episode. Those are really good games. Everyone should play them. That said, all of your generals have a different type. You've got types like commanders, tanks, casters, assassins, slayers, destroyers, marksmen, beastmasters, and a lot. Think of that as kind of your huge Pokemon elements chart of some are better against others, some are weaker against others, some draw neutral.
It's the weapon wheel from Fire Emblem.
It is the weapon wheel from Fire Emblem, that game I've played and I know intimately.
Yes.
The other thing that complicates this is that all of those generals can also have different subtypes. So they could be undead, they could be reclaimed, because that's a thing that you do. You like call them over to your side. They could be mindless, they could be traitors, they could be berserk because they've experienced too much trauma and branding and unbranding that they go mindless. It's a whole thing. It's kind of fun.
Sounds fun.
It's super good. And again, all of that will then impact how they act in this card battler. So, and again, as I mentioned, you're not collecting cards per se. They are living Uruks and goblins and whatever the real big old dudes are that make up this posse of yours. So when you start a battle, you're actually placing cards, in position on a like land that make up your run on the fortress. So you are picking out your army that you want to attack the fortress from your deck while your opponent is doing the same to defend that fortress. And then you press go and the match/raid/encounter starts. So you're just placing your troops. You just got to anticipate, the needs that you have in that battle and hope that, you went all Beastmasters and you better hope that they didn't go all Marksmen because that's a rookie mistake.
Interesting.
So this is similar gameplay to like Clash of Clans.
It's like
Something like
an
that?
auto battler, an auto chess.
Sounds like auto chess.
Yeah.
I don't like either of the comparisons, but there's legs there. I mean, Clash of Clans is a massively successful game. So similar in that regard, sure.
Okay.
It could also be a Hearthstone Battlegrounds if we're keeping it.
Yeah.
keeping it to
That's what I
cards.
was thinking of, Greg. Thank you, Greg. It is a Hearthstone Battlegrounds situation.
That's an auto
Okay.
chess. Auto chess can be a subcategory of card battlers, I think. We're fine. You're not calling you out, just clarifying.
I'd like to clarify something too. Then earlier I said Greg's my only friend. Kyle, you're also a friend of mine.
Oh,
It's
don't do that, Todd.
well, it's just that I'm not friends with you.
Hey, fuck you too.
Although you did say, what's your IP based on? Todd, which I'm still kind of getting over that one.
All right. Well, moving on. Tell us what your new mechanic is and what it's based on, Matt.
Yeah.
Is that better, Todd? I did it to Matt.
Is that
Feels
better,
good.
Todd?
Wait, that's another one against me.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? If we all think back to the first episode of this season when we talked about dice, we all came to the agreement that 3 is really the best option. You know, like you can either have one thing, the other thing, or both things. That was what we decided in that
Don't
episode.
remember that.
No, I do remember that.
Distinctly not. It wasn't any of what we decided.
Go back.
There was
and,
a 4. There was an option
Yeah.
for
Wait.
4.
We
Hold
did
on.
say 4 is the best number of options.
Go back and listen to that episode. I swear
And
to
someone
God,
argued
this is a real
2.
thing.
Okay. Okay.
If you go back and listen to that episode.
I genuinely don't remember.
All right, let's all stop what we're doing here. We're going to listen to the episode on this episode and figure it out for Matt.
Thank you. All right, great. I'll see you in an hour.
Yeah, insert a whole
Yeah.
episode in here. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Now that we've done that and proven Matt wrong, that
Whoa!
it was
Whoa!
4 and 2, continue, Matt.
Anyway, look, I've been playing Magic for like a while now, and I think I get it. And what I've determined is that there are too many colors. There's too many of them. You don't need 5. You need
Too many
3.
colors.
Imagine
That's
if you
a
only had
weird
3.
sentence to have in audio recording for the rest of your life.
We're talking about card
Too many
battlers. We're not
colors.
talking about anything bad. We're just talking about card
Too many
battlers.
options.
Anyway, so you've got 3 styles, right? 3 styles of skater. You've got street, you've got vert, and you've got all around. Okay, and that
It's
is
just kind of a mix between the two. So really, it's 2 versions.
no. Look, oh my God! If you guys remembered this episode, this joke would have gone so much better. We literally determined on the episode that it was one thing, another thing, and then both things.
A third thing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's what you're gonna build your deck around is your skater or team of skaters because different objects and obstacles lend themselves to different types of skaters. If you have a half pipe or a pool bowl, something along those lines, you're going to want to look for somebody with vert tricks and abilities that lead to sicker vert tricks. If you have somebody who is a park skater, a team of park skaters, you are going to want to look for things like tabletops or rails, things that you can build together in combos to create maximum sickness across a series of tricks. That trick mechanic is going to be a little bit different too, because each round is going to have one comp. I take my turn, you take your turn, and then there is a third independent turn where we do our tricks and damage is assessed in terms of your reputation. The sicker your trick, the higher your reputation. If somebody does a sicker trick than you, or you beef your trick along the way, maybe because somebody played empty beer can at the bottom of the stairs, you're going to take some hits to your reputation, and the other person's sickness is going to go up.
Matt, thank you. You anticipated my next question, which was going to be, how do I beef my trick in this card game?
Those radicals and bummers, you know? Like, maybe I have a radical that's like brand ambassador in the stands, and that gives me a +2 to my skater's confidence and an ability to attempt a more difficult trick. But if somebody else plays a bummer, like sharded coming out of the porta-john, then my confidence goes way down, and I can't do sick tricks if I've sharded.
Coming out of a porta-john.
Yeah,
If I had a nickel,
it's a couple.
Yeah, same.
A nickel for every time I've that's happened.
not been able to do a sick trick because I sharded.
Wait, hold on. Greg wants to say something. He's been really nice to everybody. What do you want, Greg?
No, I was wondering, with all this talk of sickness, are we going to get a collaboration with Disturbed?
Oh yeah, good question.
Can we get the ooh-ahs?
Yeah.
Honestly, it depends. We're trying to really nail the 2000s, and I'm pretty sure Down with the Sickness came out in 2006 or 7. So
No,
that's a
it
little
was
late.
absolutely in high school.
Recorded and released in 1999.
Wow. Kidding
Got
me?
him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Recorded 99,
2000.
released 2000.
2000.
Okay, all right. I feel a little better, but not much better. Wow, holy shit. Fuck me. Yeah, dude, Disturbed's here. Fuck it. David Draymond, get in here with your weird little chin piercings. I'm down.
Great. What does the disturbed lead singer card do in your game? We don't need an answer right now. Think about it. Andrew, tell us about the unique ability for NieR Lamentation.
Thanks for remembering that. I've
got the notes open. I can read.
All right. Well, I was going to give you that, but that's fine. I also say I'm
Weird
really
flex, but okay.
weird flex. I do regret throwing shade at Matt because my answer isn't better. So NieR Lamentation will incorporate two main campaigns at the start, as I mentioned. Song of Ancients, in the brackets on the A, that's very important, will follow along the Replicant storyline, and Weight of the World, bracket on the E, will be the Automata one. So Song of Ancients, Weight of the World, those are your two campaigns. As noted earlier, each initial campaign will go through the major beats of the original games, but all like major fights and cinematic moments will just be a card-based battler using a deck that's like themed around that campaign. So the way that the game actually works, it's a lot like a game that you all know and love dearly, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So you have like a deck, like your cards are like attack or abilities or something like that, and the different cards will do different like ranges of damage essentially. But what's a little bit different than that system is like we're going to incorporate Magic the Gathering Commander, because much like you guys, I also learned how to play Commander since we were supposed to record this last. So much like Commander, your chosen protagonist will trigger special abilities that synergizes with different cards in the deck. So, for example, if you're playing through the NieR Replicant campaign, you've got Brother NieR as your protagonist. He will power up certain cards in the Replicant deck, much like Popola or Yona or Grimoire Vice. You guys remember your favorite characters. Or if you play through as Kaine, that will instead like add like extra defense or mitigate damage using cards like Devila and Emil, but specifically the kid version. That'll be important later.
You've been saying that a lot.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Well, you're running out of patience. Similarly, choosing 2B as your protagonist for the Android deck in Weight of the World will deal out massive damage using cards like Yorha Command or Emil Cart Edition. This is different Emil. Whereas
will that be important later?
Well, it's important now. And then 9S, the other major protagonist in that campaign, can like hack enemies and apply debuffs and things like that using cards Anemone and Devila and Popola 2.0 because they also appear in NieR Automata. But what's most important is this wouldn't be a NieR game without some twists, turns, and multiple playthroughs that completely recontextualize the seemingly surface level narrative. So, upon completing the Replicant campaign, you unlock Emil, the prime floating skullman version. So there are 3 versions of Emil. Emil is like your unlockable protagonist for the ending B run. So now we're doing a second playthrough, right? After second playthrough, you unlock the C and D routes for 3 and 4, which will turn the tables on the player and have them experience the story through the Shades perspective using the Shades deck, which is different, right? So you've got the Replicant deck and the Android deck. Now you've got the Shades deck, which your protagonist or your hero character for the Shades deck is the Shadow Lord and Gestalt Yona. Remember Gestalt? I told you that'd come back.
Yep, it did. You were right.
And of course, during this campaign, you, the player, will be reminded that you are, in fact, the real monster all along. Now, the ending E is the original run-through of Weight of the World, the NieR Automata campaign. Now, that will also play it straight, and you can play as 2B or 9S, and that will unlock ending F as A2 as your third protagonist, A2, the one from ending C of NieR Automata. Every
time you say a new ending, Matt gets more and more distressed.
So mad, dude.
So completing now you're following. This is the last bit here. So once you complete ending F with A2, that sounds like I'm giving IKEA directions. That will unlock the G and H routes, which is the third and fourth routes of Automata, of course.
Those will allow you to mount the bookshelf to the wall if you bought the wall mounting kit.
In addition, that will turn the tables once again and allow you to play the machine's perspective. So now you've unlocked your fourth deck. So we've got replicants, we've got shades, we've got androids, and now we've got the machine's deck. And that will use Adam and Eve, which is everyone's favorite memorable boss characters from NieR Automata, as the hero characters. So now we've gotten our 8 playthroughs getting up through ending H.
All right.
You're telling me
Yep.
I have to play this card battler 8 times.
Yes.
That sucks, right? Like, everybody knows that sucks. I think that sucks.
Kyle, how many times have you played Slay the Spire?
Yeah, that doesn't hold water here, Matt.
I rest my case.
Unfair.
We were just telling Kyle how many times you have to beat your dad in Hades to really play Hades, so I agree with you, Matt, but I don't think we can fight this.
I'm right, but I'm out of line.
It's not right.
You're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
Yep.
All right. Greg, tell us the unique mechanics to Fort Fight.
Forgot about Fort
The game within a
Fort
game.
Fight's really good.
Yes, Fortnite Fort Fight, like Fortnite : Fort Fight, I think is how it will be like referenced.
I really like Fortnite Fort Fight. That's really good.
As described earlier, you know, your deck is your fort, so we'll have a constructed mode that will be like build mode, and then we'll have a limited like draft, so that will be no build. So you're kind of putting your fort together on the fly is the kind of headcanon.
If you're at home wondering what those words mean, constructed means you show up with a deck made already, and a draft is you build a deck out of randomly opened cards in the moment.
Yes.
Sorry, Greg, go on.
I think also, though, one of the big questions that everyone has when you're playing Fortnite is where are we dropping?
I guess.
I want to change one word there, and I want to change it to what we drop in. Because we're also going to incorporate things called drops, which is to really bring back the old ante system from original Magic the Gathering. So,
That thing. Wait, tell Matt about that thing, because Matt doesn't know what that is.
Tell everybody but Kyle about it.
You gave away the
Wait,
joke.
did I do it backwards?
in the olden days of Magic the Gathering, back in Magic the Gathering, just the way Richard Garfield intended, you would have to put up a card for ante. There are actually some cards that actually interact with what gets put in for ante and things like that. And basically, whoever wins the game wins all the ante cards as well.
Oh.
What?
I forget how it happened, but you would either, like, before you drew your starting hand or, like, after you drew it, you would then flip the next top card off of your deck, and you would not be able to play with it that game because it would be your ante, your bet for the game.
You're racing for pinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of neat.
Except if it's a good-ass card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gatekeepy as fuck.
Yeah.
That's why they stopped doing it, is people got really sad when they gave away their best card when they didn't have a lot of good cards to begin with.
Yeah.
I think I saw, not to tangent too much, but I think I saw something, or someone told me about some interview with Richard Garfield, was like, that was his idea to keep rampant price inflation down, was to be like, you never know if you're going to be able to keep the card or not, so no one wants to spend a lot of money on the cards. But that won't happen here, because you'll get to actually pick which card you put up for ante, and see what your opponent is going to be putting up for their drop in Fortnite Fort Fight. There will be some limitations that we'll be able to interact with the anti-zone potentially, but there's definitely going to be one thing I'll get to a little bit later that will hard lock what your anti is. But to kind of like get some really good cards, you might need to play against some really good players. And then on top of that, I think I also want to, there's a lot of discussion about how matchmaking works in all these different games, and how am I going to be paired up? In Arena, it's oftentimes like both where you're on in the ladder, and then also the strength of your deck gets they do some magic calculus to figure out exactly who you should be fighting. In this case, we're going to throw that out. We're going to just go like, where are you on the season pass in Fortnite? And we're going to find people that are in a similar location, whether you're on the free track or not. Just how far into the season pass have you gotten? And that's going to determine who you play against. So, yeah, I'm really excited to...
That is the most chaotic ranking system. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what people are dropping and how far up the season pass they can get through just Fortnite Fort Fight, and see what happens.
It's kind of like how Marvel Snap works, though, right?
Well, I think he's saying your progression through regular Fortnite season pass affects who you are playing.
Because it's all tied to, it's all in the same kind of like
Yeah.
Got it.
ecosystem.
Not a straight
Sure.
1-to-1 like I'm good at this card battler, so I'm playing other people who are good at the card battler.
Got it.
Oh, right. Just to go back, I am realizing I didn't include how much money I've spent on Marvel Snap when we were discussing earlier.
no.
Anyway, we don't need to get into that.
It's
okay.
The game's not that old, Greg.
That's what the post show's for.
Yeah.
I do really like the anti-system in a digital game, especially. I feel like there are fun ways to interact with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Objectively so.
All right, moving on. So, while there are consumer-friendly models out there where you pay once and slowly unlock the cards, like your Mega Man's Battle Network, your more story-driven card battler games, Slay the Spires this way, Monster Train, blah, blah, blah. That's not what we're doing today. We are looking to fund the next 7 seasons of DT! Projects before we run out of new card ideas. So, explain why players will want to willingly give us their hard-earned cash in exchange for digital assets. How does the booster economy in your game work? And what is the first quote-unquote chase rare you expect players to invest a small down payment in trying to open? Make sure to incorporate assets from your IP. Go nuts with this. Get weird with it. Make anyone who hasn't played a card battler feel really angry about the concept of card battlers after this question. Todd, take it away.
Kyle, let's just get it out there. People like to win.
Yeah.
And in whatever I named this, Middle Earth Shadow of the Cards, you pay to get boosted generals. And with that, you're going to win more. Now, let's just be clear. Booster packs aren't cheating or paying to win, but instead you're just buying something to play harder. Okay? So like you need statistically better generals that would have, I don't know, just taken you hours to find and forever to grind. Booster pack. You need that guaranteed orange epic drop Beastmaster. Buy booster pack. Do you, the player, want to save literal tens of hours playing the game in a mind-numbing mind loop just so that you can progress forward? Booster pack.
Booster pack.
See the joke there? That's what happened in Shadow of War. They did that and then they had to patch it because it was too unforgiving for a while, and they're like, "Uh-oh, we made you buy stuff. Our bad." But anyway, then we'll talk more about that. But booster pack. So you're asking what kind of rare cards are out there. If you do want those rare cards, we're talking like the Wraith Rider's Nazgul, the spider that tries to eat Frodo that has a name and I don't remember it.
I love that you don't know a single name from anything in Lord of the Rings.
Excuse me, Kyle. I just said the spider that tries to eat Frodo. You know, Frodo, a character from Lord of the Rings.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Also, another epic card, Frodo. Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Frodo from Magic the Gathering.
Frodo. I can't believe they made a whole book series off of a card commander like Frodo.
So wild.
Or, another epic one would be the Agonizer, a.k.a. the orc that Kumail Nanjiani voices in Shadow of War, because that's a real thing. Or, just what about the whole-ass Balrog? You're not going to find that in the wild. You just better believe that your odds of getting those characters are just statistically so much better by paying real money for the booster. Because again, to kind of paint a better comparison here, you can either hunt your shinies or you can just straight up buy them. Because, listen, everyone is going to be doing this. So it's going to create a culture where it's not pay to win. It's pay to play. Because each day you log on and you get some points. For doing your basic dailies, you logged on, and you can use those points to buy your basic boosters that will reward uncommon generals. And, each season, we're going to give you a booster of power that awards one low-level epic general, but by buying the legendary booster to rule them all with real American-earned dollars, we'll give you at least one guaranteed legendary that would normally statistically take you like 100 plus or more instances to get those drops.
100 plus or more.
100 plus or more. You heard me right, Kyle, and everyone.
Those are Honkai Star Rail numbers.
And just to drive this home, it's not even like you lucked out and you found the shiny that you were looking for, the orange epic drop. You also still have to brand them to get them, so it is quite literally shiny hunting. You have to find the high-powered, deadly shiny, and then hope you catch it. Or just buy it. Open up your wallet. Buy boosters, win game.
So you're not saying I buy the booster and then have to still catch it. The booster skips that process
it just does
entirely.
It just does it. And that's the thing. There's no way of knowing that you bought your generals. If I see you online, it doesn't say that Kyle bought this general. You could have earned it in the wild.
Did you just inadvertently invent Hearthstone?
I think he did.
He certainly said a lot of quiet parts out loud.
Did I just invent Hearthstone? I only played it for like a couple sad months in grad school, and so I don't know what it has become, or really what I've become. I'm not cool with the silence anymore.
It sounds like you had the real card battler experience, at least.
The card battler is in the room with me right now.
Matt, save Todd from his uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, Kyle, it's easy, right? So, like I said, we're doing both digital and physical, which is going to absolutely pop off because there will be scannable QR codes on the cards to sync your physical assets with your digital decks, and you'll be able to move physical cards to the digital realm. You won't be able to go digital to physical until we partner with a printer company. But
you never go digital to physical.
You never go digital to physical.
You never go dig to fizz, only fizz to dig.
Okay, so here's the thing. Oh, I'm having a hard time coming back for that one. Son of a bitch.
That was so stupid.
Oh, man. All right.
Todd is bright red laughing at this.
I wasn't ready for dig to fizz. What a goddamn stupid sentence. Oh, I'm crying.
Oh, man. All right. All right. Here's the thing. So, you can buy boosters online through the e-store, or you can buy them at your local skate shop or PacSun. Those are the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a display outside of Hollister as well.
The first TCG sold at PacSun is incredible.
So, you are on the hunt for a couple of things. Skaters, obviously, but you really only need one, maybe two, at most 3 of those per deck. What you're really looking for are the tricks. If we're going to relate this to Magic, your tricks are the monsters that you summon. So what you are hunting for are the sickest tricks. Now, how do you know how sick a trick is? Well, you are looking for tricks with sick photography. Again, we're going to include, because that is so core and elemental to the skate scene, we're going to include photography of some of these sick tricks. Now, in real life, you're looking for, like your shiny, your holofoil cards, but we need a way to translate holofoil cards to digital assets in a way that still makes them radical, Kyle. We're doing GIFs, right? So your sickest tricks are going to have GIF videos of people doing those sick tricks, and you are chasing rare sick tricks. So you're looking for like Tony Hawk's 920, or you're looking for like boneless pop shove it. But we are gonna send a couple of real chase rares out there, and they're gonna be specific skaters. they're going to be specific unlockable skaters from the video game that we're basing all of this off of, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. Notably, Neversoft Eyeball Guy and Ollie the Magic Bum. Those 2 cards are going to go for tens of dollars on the individual market. And people are really going to lose their mind opening cards at a PAX Sun looking for a holographic Ollie the Magic Bum that has a QR code that goes to a GIF of a bum doing a skateboard trick. There you go.
All right.
If we're saying we're not going Dig to Fizz, correct?
Yeah, you can't go digital.
You can't go Dig to Fizz. You can only go Fizz to Dig.
Yeah.
Does that make these GIFs NFTs?
Don't read ahead, Greg.
Okay.
The early NFT argument was like, it's not so different than Hearthstone if you think real hard about it, but don't actually think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the correlation is noted. Andrew, tell us how you're going to derive funding
Yeah, certainly.
for this game.
So I mentioned how completing each campaign would unlock more hero characters, leading to a total of 3 subsequent endings for each campaign, to Matt's chagrin. However, this wouldn't be a NieR game without a final campaign that is also locked behind some arbitrary bullshit and will likely delete your save data at the end of it. Enter the rare weapon cards. Now, in each in-game booster pack that you'll get for free along as you progression through the game, there is a small chance that you'll get a card that represents a sword or spear featured in one of either games. These weapons are just simple consumables that will add massive damage one time and will basically cost no additional resources, so they can really make or break a tight situation. The thing is, though, the game never tells you, much like NieR Replicant, never tells you that in order to unlock the final route, in this case, the final ending you need to have all of the weapon cards by the time you complete all 4 playthroughs of both campaigns. Now, fortunately, Kyle, weapon cards are hyper rare drops through the gachapon system available for premium currency.
Okay. Fortunately.
So we're doing a gachapon system like everyone's favorite, Matt's favorite game, Genshin Impact.
Don't do that to me. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Now, players will want to get these weapons because it will lead to more content. In this case, the final campaign ending or Lamentation. That's why
the brackets
full circle,
came back.
baby. This final campaign takes place after the events of the 2021 mobile spinoff NieR Reincarnation, as the collective data of all of the series characters are uploading into their respective human shells that are housed on the moon. You know how all of the collective human subconscious are housed on the moon while the androids are in Earth and the replicants are long gone, but actually housed in their consciousnesses are housed in the Gestalt shells, blah, blah, blah. You guys
That was a Scientology thing, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So we find out that the story up to this point wasn't just a fun retelling of the past games, but rather was the moon's supercomputer collecting all the shared experiences and, of course, specifically the ultimate failings of Project Gestalt and Project Yorha. Ultimately, the supercomputer decides that no matter how many times you run the simulation, humanity is doomed to fail, because this is a Yoko Taro game, and so it decides to spare future generations the grief and sorrow of existence, and instead grants humanity the mercy of a continued extinction for all eternity. And that's the end of NieR Lamentation by the booster packs.
By the booster packs. Andrew, real quick question. Roughly, estimate, how many in-game hours would it take to get all the weapons for the final ending?
25 to 72.
Okay.
That's a wide berth there, buddy.
Well, how lucky are you? Every single one of those hours painstakingly deleted and beyond recovery.
And then how many of my hard-earned American dollars would it cost me to just buy that instead?
I think the answer is the same and the same.
Okay. Good.
Something about knowing that 25 is the optimistic number on either of those two things is really bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like the best case scenario, 25.
Dude, I've been playing a lot of JRPGs lately trying to get through my backlog. That's life.
Doesn't have to be, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't. No,
In
it
this
doesn't.
game you're creating.
Yeah. Lamentation, the act of lament, it basically is defined as like the act of experiencing grief or sorrow.
Oh,
And you brought that to us.
I thought your game was lamentation.
Yeah.
Like laminate.
Though it was a
both.
play. It was a play.
It's both.
No,
'Cause
I'm
I
not
wanted
going to
to
let
use
you have
the
both.
I.
I don't think you get both. I think you get one or the other.
No,
I would
mean,
rather be I would listen. Hey, I would rather be laminated permanently in plastic than play the game you're describing.
Do you guys remember when I said in Discord, someone will find this funny? I promise you. Someone
Is there
out
someone
there,
on the call, Andrew?
someone out there is like, this is my fucking shit. Hell yeah, brother. And to you, I say, that was me holding up my fist. We can move on now.
Greg, please take us away from this and tell us how you're going to move some digital packs.
yeah, absolutely. So we have this ante-system, which, as we described with how Richard Garfield talked about it and how it can actually, like, it feels like it can reduce the value of cards because you never know what you're going to lose. Well, I'm going to bring in a mechanic from Fortnite, the classic Fortnite, not Fortnite Fort Fight.
Yeah, not Fortnite Fort Fight, just
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Just regular Fortnite.
Vanilla Night.
Fortnite, if you will.
Vanilla. We were
Yeah.
at the same wavelength. We did the thing.
Yeah. So we're going to bring in medallions. If you're not familiar, medallions are things that drop from bosses usually, and then they kind of like mark you on the map, and it slowly gets into a smaller circle and can highlight where you are, and it takes up a slot not as similar to, but not the same as a Victory Royale crown. Anyway, these can also have a minor effect on you as well. So I think the big chase items are going to be these medallions that you can get. They'll be, like super rares in packs. They'll have an effect on your deck. Like you might need to follow a build restriction to be able to use them,
Sure.
but then they'll have an effect on that. But they always are in your ante slot. So you have to ante them. And then if you win 99 times with that card in your ante slot, you unlock a very powerful character that you can put into your deck / fort.
Is it Spider-Man?
Yeah, it might
It
be.
was Goku.
I was thinking buff
Is it
Peter
Ariana Grande?
Griffin.
Oh, it's Ariana Grande.
But Peter Griffin's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Peter Griffin, unfortunately.
The cell-shaded one.
Or fortunately, depending on
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's for
your
somebody.
outlook on life.
The other one that people are going to go for is, of course, Tomato Head.
Yep.
That's the other chase rare. But
We are all nodding our heads in agreement. Yes.
I really like that mechanic, though. Like,
pretty
put a deck restriction on to get a multiplier that is then always up for grabs when, like, each match you could lose it forever. That's really good, Greg.
until you open another one.
Until you open another one. I had a question and I forgot. Oh, can you give us an example, maybe, of, like, what one of these medallions would do?
Yeah, I think it would be something like, I don't know what the restriction would be, but it would be something powerful like your characters can have an extra inventory slot. So they can hold like more health pots or an extra gun, or depends on what it
Okay.
is. Or like unlimited ammo potentially, but then you have to have, like, you can only have a certain amount of guns or certain kind of weapon, that kind of thing. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
I like that. All right. Well, we are going to keep it moving right along with our super secret bonus question. Guys, we need to keep our players coming back after they've played the game a lot, collected all the base game cards, solved the format, if you will. And we're going to do that with expansion sets. Every card game has them. So what expansions can we expect from your game? What aspect of your IP are these going to be based on? Is it going to be a different game of the IP, different chapter, whatever? But we will take those answers right after this break. All right, we're back. So, guys, tell us about the expansions you have planned for your card game, and what part of the IP are they going to tap into to make a new, interesting aspect of the game for our players? Todd.
This one's pretty easy. So let's get some base mechanics out that have to come out after the first season. So the big season 2 reveal is a PvP mechanic. That is not a thing that was really in the first one. They kind of revealed it a little bit in the second one. Very flawed, but we're going to nail it. We'll be better. We've learned our mistakes. Followed then by duel battles, and then a commander deck style situation where you choose one orc to be like your thing, your main dude.
Sure.
Commander, if you will. You know, your friend, you get it. You get it.
Yeah, you get it.
But following that and the seasons that come after it, just endless Lord of the Rings IP drops. Just never ending. We have 70 plus years of content.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings famously making new content since it was created 70, 80 years ago.
Excuse me, Kyle. New characters constantly being pumped out, like the series that's featured on Amazon Prime. With this, forever, you're going to get just new characters that only have to be slapped on skins, really. Skins and lore. Kyle, you can get your favorite characters like Largo Brandyfoot.
Wow.
And Adar.
Whoa.
Adar, the fallen elf. And like, if you don't like the new Amazon Prime Ring of Power show characters, I get it. Let's pull out some of the real deep cut classics like Mablung the Ranger. Or Ted Sandyman.
Ted Sandyman.
Ted Sandyman. He's in a pub. You see him in a pub one time. Anyway, you get it. This is the content will just keep coming out. We've got endless content because you know the execs over at Prime, Amazon Prime, they're gonna keep making content. They won't stop. That series can't be good, and they won't stop. We're excited here. It can't be good.
It can't be good.
But
Todd,
it did give us Adar the Fallen Elf, and I think that's going to really bring people to season 5.
I have heard fans really have clung to Adar the Fallen Elf, although Ted Sandyman is a sleeper favorite.
People are going to start dulling out around season 2 or 3, but that's when we bring in Ted Sandyman, and the fans will go nuts.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because the Sandyman can, Kyle.
Nope.
No.
I was playing along.
He does it with a smile because his name is Ted.
Matt, tell us about
that was good.
Tell us about your expansion to Tony Hawk's Pro Trader.
Yeah, Kyle. And you remember the name because it's so good. I'm happy to tell you more. Tony Hawk Pro Trader, the initial release, actually based exclusively off Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. Good news, Kyle. There's 9 more mainline Tony Hawk Pro Skater games.
Great news.
Each one including new skaters, new tricks, new objects, obstacles, and pedestrians. And more importantly, around Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, we're going to introduce a whole new mechanic to the game called locales. Some people might call them levels. It's areas to skate in, different places where you can build your objects and obstacles. And we're going to get all the best locales from the game. We're going to get Hanger from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. We're going to get other
Matt's
examples.
eyes shift to his other screen that has all the locales.
School 2 from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh shit, Pool 2.
What was that?
Pool 2. Oh shit.
School 2. School 2. And then we're going to get like Alcatraz from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 and Los Angeles and Zoo from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3.
Alcatraz, made famous by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
from
2.
THPS4. I am very interested in the like butterfly effect moment in Tony Hawk's life that like in an alternate universe, Tony Hawk's Pro Trader is just a stock market game.
Yeah.
Like instead of getting his skateboard, he got like a computer or something like.
But is just as famous and
exactly.
Yeah. Matt, what do the locales do?
Well, they'll add all sorts of different bonuses. I mean, really, it depends on what type of skater you're using, right? Like, if you're on Alcatraz and you have a vert deck, you're going to have tons of opportunity. Alcatraz, famously known for all of the skate ramps built into it. However, if you're in a place like School 2, you got a lot of gaps and rails. You're going to want to build to a street deck. Now, once you start stacking your obstacles and your objects and chaining different tricks together between them, those locales will add different abilities. Some might have native bonuses like tie two tricks together without a connecting rail, or might add extra bonuses for clearing a particularly famous gap.
All right. So kind of like a global effect.
Yes.
You play your locale and
Yeah.
and okay. I see the vision. Put it that way.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. Andrew,
Yeah.
tell us about the expansions you have planned to
Sure.
NieR Lamentations.
So, I mean, this is a Square Enix game, right? So it's a Square Enix mobile game, which means that it's going to use the popularity and notoriety of all their other games as a way to sell you more bullshit, right? So the natural, like, play curve of this game is to go through story beats of a game you've already played. So why not do that for the 31 Final Fantasies that exist, or for the 17 Kingdom Hearts games out there? You know, again, already that's like something for, frankly, a lot of people. It worked 5 years ago when FF14 collabed with NieR to do to build their raid series for the previous expansion. So let's just flip it back and do a collab with FF14, because it works. It's worked before. Why wouldn't it work again? That's how Square Enix prints their money, and that's how I plan to print mine.
I have but one question. Does this mean we'll eventually get a
Chrono Trigger, yes. Chrono Trigger collab.
Cup of suit hat?
Cup Noodles
card.
hat?
Cup Noodles hat.
Hell yeah, brother. The first one is going to be an FF15 collab, and you better believe we're going to get that Cup Noodles hat combo
Good.
action going on.
I've heard all I need.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Real talk, when I go to Japan in a month, I am going to the Cup Noodles Museum, and if I don't leave there with a Final Fantasy 15 Cup Noodles, that will have been a problem. Like, that is my primary goal when I'm going
They'll
there.
have to carry you off if
Yeah.
you don't
I
get
will, I will spend any amount of money to get a Final Fantasy 15 Cup Noodles.
They won't have it, and Andrew won't be able to leave because he's in jail.
Because
It's gonna go to Cup Noodles jail.
Cup Noodles jail.
Jail sponsored by Cup Noodles.
All right, Greg, bring us home. Tell us about the expansion to Fortnite Fort Fight.
All right. Yeah, you know, expansions, I think it's pretty clear. We've actually brought it up a few times on the call here. So say it with me. We're adding vehicles. That's right. You can get vehicles and add them to your fort. That way you have different kinds of vehicles. You have different amounts of people that can get in them. That way, later expansions, you'll actually unlock the radio that you can play, different songs that you can change your vibe. That'll change like what plays while you're playing the game, or like the effects on like the backs of your cards, or your play area, that kind of thing. So it'll change aesthetically for you. It won't necessarily change much for your opponent. And then also maybe eventually, probably like season, I want to say like 12, we are hoping by then we might be able to get Ariana Grande.
Oh, see, I'm in now.
We're all just holding our breath for the Ariana Grande pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. Cosmetics, tried and true moneymaker. All right.
Yeah.
Me and the DT execs are gonna mull this over. We're gonna pick which card game we're throwing our collective might behind. Guys, give us your closing statements.
Yeah, Kyle, just real simple. Middle of Earth, Shadow of the Cards, a conclusion to this trilogy so good, you'll be calling it Your Precious.
Great.
Do you get it? Because, like, the whole...
No, explain it to me.
No, I don't want it. Jokes aren't good if you explain them. I'll leave you guessing. You want me to talk about Ted Sandyman some more?
Matt.
Tony Hawk, pro trader. The most collectible part of skating has always been the decks. If you know about skateboard anatomy, that's a great joke. If you don't,
That is a good joke.
that's okay. But thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Andrew.
Why play a game to get one ending when you can get 9?
Great. and Greg.
It's Fortnite, Fort Fight. What you droppin'?
What you
That's
dropping?
it.
What you dropping?
That's the tagline.
What you
I love it.
dropping?
What you dropping?
What are you dropping?
All right. Now we're going to go deliberate and pick which one of these card games we're going to throw our financial might behind. And while we're gone, do some good vibes. Make the vibes good. Todd.
Yeah, Matt, starting off with you, I've been on edge the entire episode, and so the fact
Waiting
that you
for
just barely ended with decks, I appreciate that because I can kind of like soften now. Listeners who subscribe to the Patreon at the level that you get our notes, I did type into Matt's response in question 3, quote, I swear we are building to a sick trick pick GIF joke, and that I was going to throw myself into traffic if you did that. Thrilled you didn't. I'm also a little surprised we made it through this whole thing without some bit about like tech decks. I felt like tech decks were coming in somewhere. Something
It
about
felt
collecting
like it.
decks.
Yeah. It felt
The
like it.
best puns are the ones you don't have to say.
Yeah, the best
And,
notes
like,
in jazz
I
are
feel
the
like-
notes you don't hit. I get
I
it.
feel like
Yeah,
you
you know.
nailed it, Matt. You've got Todd just like jumpy. Like,
Wondering
you're gonna-
what if, you
He's
know?
doing the work for you.
Yeah.
He's edged on puns.
I am looking forward to the 4th iteration of your Tony Hawk's deck building game where you can step off the deck and walk around, because that was the thing you could do in that one. Andrew, I forget everything about NieR. I forgot
Yeah, I know.
everything about NieR except
know.
except you have to beat the game to play the game again and get more
Yeah.
story, and beat the game to play the game
You do.
and get more story. And I was really mad about that. I was super
I know.
mad that you were doing that. But like I said earlier, then I remembered that's what Hades is a lot, and I need to look inward.
Yeah.
I hope that when you beat your deck builder, there's a visual of your deck being ripped to pieces, so that it really drives home that you don't have that deck anymore. You're playing the game again.
Yeah.
But your reward is more story, I guess. Greg, how hasn't this been done? How hasn't Fortnite included a card battler yet? Feels more of a when, not an if.
They haven't had to break that emergency glass yet.
That's exactly
True.
the answer.
They had a collectible card. They had collectible cards by Panini for a while, but they stopped doing them because they weren't selling.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a game attached to them. It was just cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still feel like eventually this will happen. Something like this will happen. The only thing that's keeping them from doing it, I guess, is that they can't do a real like TCG with all of their properties, and so that would limit them. But man, this certainly feels like a when, not an if.
Yeah. Todd, I have not played either of the games that you talked about.
You might like it.
Well, I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. I've never seen
Yeah.
any of the movies.
Do we have a Lord of the Rings guy?
I don't know that we do.
Kyle is the closest.
I'm the
thing.
closest,
The
and I would
closest,
not
okay.
call myself a Lord of the Rings guy, but like
Yeah.
I enjoy the Lord of the Rings. I've
Fascinating.
read the books. I've watched the movies.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to be the guy now. That's your mantle to
I
carry.
think that has to be your thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I have really enjoyed getting into Magic with you because you're the other guy who's gotten suckered into getting into Magic with me, and I appreciate
Journey. when there was only one set of footprints in the sand, it's when I carried you in your commander deck.
that. And when there are 75 sets of footprints in the sand, it's because you played too many goddamn tokens.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate the things that you did today, although none of the references were for me. Andrew, hey, I wasn't on the NieR episode, and I listened to it, and I don't remember any of it. But
Thanks for listening to it, honestly.
hey, you're welcome. Yeah, I know for a fact that every time you say someone will find this funny, somebody does, and
Yeah.
I'm happy for that person.
Thanks.
And that's what I will say about your answer. Greg, thanks for coming on our show. We always, when we have guests in, we were like, well, let's bring in like a ringer guest who really knows what they're talking about. And this time I was like, but we all kind of get card battlers. Like, I know Greg's really into card battlers, but like, we all kind of get it. So I think it'll be pretty No, you get it. You are the card battler
you
guy.
actually get it.
It was like everything you said. I was like, oh, damn, he's right. Son of a bitch. And that was great. Also, like, Fortnite Fort Fight is incredible.
It's really good.
I like that a lot. And yeah, good time.
This was a good time. Todd, I gotta Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. I mean, I know those are good games. That was a really good answer. Those are really good answer.
Stupid.
I like this is just your man now. You just own this orc. He's just your orc now.
Your guy.
It's just
He's
your
your silly
guy.
little guy.
I also like the implication that you start the game with 0 cards.
Yeah, you gotta find your little freaks.
Yeah. So it's like you've incorporated like a Breath of the Wild type of like survival mechanic here.
Much like when you play Magic the Gathering in real life, someone gives you a free little freak. And then you use that little freak to define who you are forever.
You have to find Kyle in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
No, that's an excellent answer. Very good job, Matt. Similarly, Tony Hawk's for Trader is so stupid and good. I did very much like. I think this is less of a compliment to you and more of a compliment to Greg, but still a compliment in that like I feel like you, me, and Todd have the same applicable knowledge of deck builders to the extent of we're like, well, we get that there are like different types of decks, so we all kind of came in with like the surface level, like, yeah, there's this kind of deck and that kind of deck. End of story. And and then so like Greg, you came in and we're like, well, actually no, like this is how you'd actually make a game. But regardless of that, Matt, the vibe and the attitude with which you have colored your Tony Hawk game, very good, very excellent. And then, of course, Greg, like I said, well done, man. I really liked how you incorporated build mode and no build mode as like a draft.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Good.
That's really good. And of course, like no build mode is what all of the senior citizens like us play.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
I have never been more humbled than when I tried to play build mode in Fortnite.
I've never even attempted it.
Yeah, don't like. I can't recommend it any less. Thanks for coming, man. That was so much fun.
Well, thanks for having me. Blanket statement. This was a ton of fun. Thank you guys so much. Also, blanket statement. Everyone's names for everything was like really well done. Todd, I really like the idea of, because I played Shadow of Mordor, really loved it. The idea that they're finishing the trilogy with a like Pokemon, the trading game, video game style thing is actually awesome. I love that. I like that a lot. I'm just like you walking around to different. It's like, hey, you're my nemesis now. Okay, let's sit down and play this card game. Yeah, that's really great. Matt, I love this idea of this like cascading, almost like war, like you're playing war effect of like putting together your tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As like you're getting these longer and longer things like put out in front of you, and you have to decide to either help yourself or hinder your enemy. That sounds like really cool. Plus also like, you know, we're going to listen to Superman over and over again, which is always a good time.
It's the only song on the soundtrack.
The only song.
Yeah. Andrew, the thing, NieR hasn't bitten me as much as my my cohort David Flam or even Giovanni Colantonio, but I will say that I was getting big like Zelda and the two Oracle games where you have to beat both of them and then get to the final thing mixed with like Inscription.
Which
I was getting big Inscription vibes from Andrew's game.
The original kind of like original draft of this was it kind of turns into an inscription where the cards are playing you.
Yeah. Ooh,
because
I like that.
Because it's NieR.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that NieR kind of existential space, I guess, is a really cool place to play with the card battles. And
Thanks,
also feeling the there's something really fun about feeling a group like exaggerated eye roll, like, oh god, but then I like halfway through that I was like, wait a minute, oh wait, oh hey, hold on.
You can't give him that.
It's kind of my brand.
All right, the execs and I have shuffled back into the room. We've made our decision and we're gonna let you know about it right now. Starting off, Andrew,
yeah, sure, I'm already gone.
NieR Lamentation. You had the best built-in replayability structure. loved that. Very Slay the Spire, as you said. However, we feel the niche audience and style of game definitely lead to a upper cap than we want on earnings.
Me and the 7 perverts are already out the door. We're already made it elsewhere.
But we'll call you when we need a good indie game to keep people occupied for hours and hours and hours on end. Yeah. Todd, Shadow, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, Shadow of the Cards. Shadow of the Cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Also going to pass, partially because Magic just did their Lord of the Rings set like a year ago, and because Rings of Power has kind of shown Lord of the Rings has fallen off a little bit. It's not the slam dunk moneymaker it maybe once was.
Can I just say I completely forgot that show exists.
Right. I've never watched a single episode.
Yeah.
It was Rings of Power that did that, not the Gollum video game, right? That's,
Oh boy, I heard that was
forgot
stinky poo poo.
Also forgot about
that was
Gollum game.
that was like the 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
There.
Well, looks like all 5 of us are never going to learn about Adar the Fallen Elf. So,
Bummer.
Unless a generous subscriber wants to commission a flavor text for us.
please don't.
Information on that to come. That brings us to Matt. Matt, Tony Hawk's Pro Trader sounds like a great game. We think that going fizz to dig still is gonna mess up the economy we're trying to build here. We really don't want people going either way there. We want them paying full price for physical cards and then paying full price for digital cards again.
Fizz only, no items, final destination.
However, personally, I really love the idea of this game.
Thanks, man.
Like a card game out of like what Greg said, like stringing your trick combos together and like trying to like throw a beer can in your opponent's way is a really cool way to like turn Tony Hawk Pro Skater into a card game. But unfortunately, it is not better than guaranteed moneymaker and hit Fortnite Fort Fight. Greg, you are our winner today. Just an incredible game. I love the not just the anti-system and like making it the fact it's a digital game to make like that work so it's not as feel bad every time, but then taking the medallions and building that into that anti-system as well was just chef's kiss. Just incredible game. So Greg, you are our winner today. We will be launching Fortnite Fort Fight in Q3 of 2025, and that will be funding the next 7 years of Debate This. So look for it on all your gaming platforms.
Literally every one of them.
Every
single one.
single one. Thanks for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast or on our website at debatethiscast.com. If you liked our co-host, our guest, Greg is going to tell you where you can find more of him.
Hi, yeah, you can find me on Left Trigger, Right Trigger. It's a podcast. It's your video game book club, and also on The Once and Future Nerd. Where is that on social media? It's out there. Don't worry about it. If you go to lefttriggerrighttrigger.com or theonceandfuturenerd.com, I think that one's correct. You can find all the information for those podcasts there. And thanks for listening. This has been a real treat.
Greg, do you guys still have save.ale.pizza?
I think we just
get rid of
re-upped it, yes.
Hashtag save that eel.pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we have several custom URLs, although I think those go to our YouTube that we don't actually update anymore very much, but
fair enough.
We got some cool old videos there.
Yep. The first thing is 3 years ago, Crusader Kings 3. Nice.
Every guest has better URLs than we do, and I love it.
It's
I
just
wouldn't have
because
it
we
any
had
other way.
feetlegal.com, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big-
that would set a high bar.
that was
a high bar.
untouchable.
Speaking of URLs, merch. We have that. Right now you can go on the internet and order things that say Debate This on them. All you need to do is head to our Redbubble page and give us your money. Does our Redbubble page have a cool and easy URL for us to read in this audio ad? It does now, because if you go to
Net.
Com?
Net. It's
Dot
.net. It's
gov.
merchthis.net.
merchthis.biz.
Merchthis.io.
Not that one either.
If you go to merchthis.net, that will take you to our Redbubble page, and you can buy all the tumblers and socks and blankets with our logos on them that you want.
There's pet bandanas.
There's pet bandanas, guys. You can put a bandana on your pet, and it can say debate this on it. All for the low cost of whatever Redbubble is selling that for.
Of capitalism. The low cost of capitalism.
Until next time, I'm Kyle Harper.
I'm Todd. Bad flavor texts in the mirror may be nearer than they appear. Thomas.
That was good.
That's good.
I'm Matt. Fizz to Dig, build the bridge. Dig to Fizz, lose your Riz. Cole.
And I'm Andrew. A shady hobbit turned hook-handed murderer is Ted Candyman Henderson.
I've been Greg. We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, fort fight. We bout to throw it down. Throw it down till 10 packs on the board right now. Just open tomato. Tom head man. Stick to the landing. I stuck the landing.
Nailed it.
We made it
Bangers
this
all
far
around.
without a chug jug.
We made it all episode without a chug jug. That's a personal best for us. We're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.